Good day. Today I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on how to get models from Sketchup into a format that you should be able to import into 3D Studio Max or AC3D. I won't do much in those particular programs. This will just be on how to get the model from a SketchUp format into some format that you should be able to use in your 3D modeling software. So first thing we're going to do is going to go to SketchUp and we'll just look up, I don't know, we'll just say truck. Just get a quick truck. We'll just get a small little. Let me see here. Let me see if we can find a small truck. That's a pretty big model truck, so it'll take a while to do stuff. I'm just trying to find a fairly low poly something here. Oh, there you go. There's a simple low poly. So we'll download that. We'll download the latest version, and we'll start up our SketchUp. And we got this simple Walmart looking thing. So first thing and the only thing really you're going to do in SketchUp is just export it. And we're going to export it into a collada format. And I'm going to put this into my tutorial directory. And we'll just call it truck.bae. And saved it into there. Simple, straightforward. Now we go into Model Converter X and we import it. And AUT. Oops, let's try this again. Do it a different way. Okay, so go into our tutorial and import truck.dae. And voila, we have our simple truck into this. So there are a couple of different issues with models in SketchUp. One is actually on your screen here, and that is it's giving me a small warning error that says that this material is not a power of 2. So almost all 3D engines require that your textures be a power of 2. And by power of 2, it means divisible by 2. It's pretty simple. So the other issue we have is this model has textures and colors. Almost all 3D game engines require everything to be in textures. I don't believe very many of them use straight colors. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to burn any colors in this into a texture. So we're going to go to Special Tools and we're going to burn material colors into textures. Simple, straightforward. Okay, that's done. Then we're going to go up and we're going to go into the Material Editor, and you'll notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually 5 colors and this one texture. So we're going to go to Textures, and right now there's only the one actual texture, and you'll notice it's 203 by 152, and obviously the 203 is not easily divisible by 2. So we're just going to resize it by clicking on that, and I change the texture to 128 by 128, and we're going to save this as BMP files when we do in fact save it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to optimize this, and I'm going to drop this down to 1024. What optimize here will do, or sorry, the predict draw calls and minimize draw calls, it will take all textures and all colors, and it will try to fit them onto a single texture. Now, in my case, I've picked the texture of 1024 by 1024. It may or may not do it in 1, but if it doesn't do it in 1, it'll do it in 2. Doesn't do it in 2, 3, and so forth. It'll do it in the minimum number that it can. So it'll include repeating textures. So now we predict draw calls, and voila, very quickly, easily. I'm glad I picked the small model. So what it did now is it took the 5 colors and it basically got rid of all of them. It took the one texture and made a new texture, but again, and the number of draw calls went from 6 to 3. The draw calls are simply how the graphics card will draw stuff on the screen. So every time it needs to draw something, it does a draw call. So obviously this particular model now, after I'm done, will actually use half the number of draw calls. Now obviously 6 to 3 is not this humongous, huge saving, but every little bit helps. So, and you'll notice on the screen here that the model didn't change at all. So now I click Minimize Draw Calls. And now if I go back to Textures, you'll notice if I double click on this, it creates this, but you'll notice all the colors down here are their own texture now. They're part of the texture, and that's the part that's important. So we're going to save the textures. Now I'm going to go into my tutorials directory, and under truck, oops, I didn't export it. Okay, so, oh, that's because I saved it in the wrong spot. Okay, saved it in my, let's try this again. I hate it when it does this. Let's see if I can type it. There you go. O:// tutorial. So save it in my tutorial directory, and you'll notice now if I view this as say an extra large icon, you'll notice that my texture is in there, so it's down to one texture. So now I go back to here, I can close that, and I export my object. So I'm going to export it now. Now the format that you pick will depend on what your 3D program supports. I'm going to pick Wavefront Object because I found that to be the best right now for 3D Studio Max. So I saved called truck.object, and I just simply click save, and it's finished reading it. Now I'm going to go into 3D Studio Max just to show you. I'll import, and I'll go to my O directory, and the tutorial, and there should be a truck.object in there, yep. So I import it, and I'm just going to select as a single mesh, and look at that. And now it's in 3D Studio Max, and I could now do whatever I want with it. So, hopefully that helps somebody. If you have any questions, just post them on the forums.